Hello, welcome to the Millionaire Woman Show, where we'll be discussing leadership, business, and human potential, inspiring you to live rich from the inside out. Unlock your creativity, stretch out of your comfort zone, break through your barriers, take inspired action, and achieve epic results. Now, here's your host, two-time best-selling author, speaker, and certified executive coach, Debra Kasowski.
Hello, everyone. It's Debra Kasowski, and I am super excited that you have joined us for episode 183. It is hard to believe just over 2 years, almost 2.5 years that we have been running this podcast, and it has grown substantially with people. Thousands of people all around the world are tuning in to the Millionaire Woman Show to learn more about growing in leadership, business, and human potential. Thing is personal development and professional development can't be separated. They are one of the same. How you think personally, how you treat situations, make decisions, that all comes down to how you act and react in a professional environment as well. So today's hot topic of conversation is difficult conversations made easy. And I'm going to share with you a quote from this book called Difficult Conversations, How to Discuss What Matters Most. And difficult conversations are almost never about getting the facts right. They are about conflicting perceptions, interpretations, and values. And this is by Douglas Stone. Difficult conversations are never easy. These conversations are often hard to talk about. They're uncomfortable because you never know how the other person's going to react. Many people avoid conversations like these, as they say, they run out of the kitchen because they do not like conflict. Avoiding conflict and stuffing down your feelings is not healthy. And if you shift your focus of the conversation to one being of conflict, to one being of a learning conversation, you may learn something about the situation that you never knew, and it could shift your perception. Conversations can get emotionally charged when people are passionate about what they're talking about, or they feel attacked. Your feelings matter, their feelings matter. And when a person emotionally charged, they can't think rationally. What happens is they have that amygdala hijack, the small part of their brain goes into that fight or flight response, or even freeze. So you're not going to get the response that you want to about that. And they often are reacting from fear versus being able to respond to a situation. For this reason, it's good to allow some time to pass before engaging in that difficult conversation. Diffusing anger and frustration allow both parties to come in with a fresh approach to really look at a situation rationally. If emotions are high, chances are nothing's going to be heard or listened to. Take some time to do some self-reflection to see how you may have contributed to the situation. I know you're probably saying to me, excuse me? Me? Yes, each party in any conversation must take 100% responsibility for how they've contributed to the conversation or situation. Mistakes can be made. You are human after all. One of the first things that we need to realize is that assumptions and conclusions are often made about what is said and felt, but even what's not said, and then what was actually said. Don't let your conclusions be your truth. There is your story, their story, and what happened. You can be adamant about what was said, or you can come from a place of curiosity and a desire to learn and understand what the person meant to say. What was the impact? Did you take it personally? Acknowledge where the person is coming from instead of arguing. When you're expressing yourself, use I feel statements to avoid judgment or accusation. Difficult conversations are not about blaming others. Difficult conversations are not about controlling another person's reaction or forcing them to see your point of view. If you're doing this, you may notice and you might get a little bit frustrated that you're not getting the changes that you want to see, because change is an inside job. The person has to want to change in order for change to occur. And if you anticipate that you're going to get a reaction out of someone, it's best to prepare for it. So I want you to start by visualizing how you can respond to their reaction versus react. Remember, it's okay to pause the conversation by 5 to 10 minutes until emotions settle down and you can reconvene it. You do not want to engage in a conversation and say something you might regret later. It's important to separate people from the problem at hand, because it's the behavior, the actions that we're looking at, not the person. I want you to start focusing on the results and not the reasons the conflict started. Because if you're problem focused, you're just going to see more problem. What is the outcome that you desire? What do you want? In my work with emotional intelligence, we use what we call an XYZ method. X is when this happened, allowing you to describe the situation or event. Y is I felt this, an ability to express your feelings. And Z is the result I'd like to, or in the future I would like. This focuses on the results and the outcomes. And again, it's removing judgment and accusation. It allows you to express yourself objectively. And so you're not bottling up your feelings. And you're at the same time also able to communicate your expectations for what you would like to see. Relations often become stronger when you're both able to express yourselves and your needs. Discuss what matters, not who's to blame. Difficult conversations get easier when you're curious and seek to understand what another person is really saying and truly listening. I want you to think about your last difficult conversation. What was the lesson you would take away from that? And will it matter 5 to 10 years from now? Perception is everything. I want to thank you for joining me here on the Millionaire Woman Show. Always grateful to have you here. Even more grateful for you sharing this episode with other people, so when they're faced with a difficult conversation, that you can help make those conversations go a lot easier. And I'd love for you to go over, subscribe to our Success Secrets newsletter at www.debrakasowski.com, where you're going to get your free ebook, The 21 Habits High Achievers Kit to Achieve Success. And you'll be updated bi-weekly about our current events and game-changing tips and strategies to help you become a more effective leader, run a better business, and also lead an inspiring life. And I'd love to hear from you. Email me. I respond to all of my emails at debra@debrakasowski.com. As Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change you wish to see in the world. And my wish for you, as always, is go out and make today great.